Alright, hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today is day 14 in our button quail hatching experiment, and so we're gonna put the incubator on lockdown tonight. And just thought we'd just do a really quick stream while I took care of that. So far the incubator has done really well. I didn't actually buy a secondary temperature probe, but I just was kind of relying on the temperature that's showing on the internal temperature probe and the humidity setting. So hopefully everything went well. It seemed to hold temperature really well. I did end up adding the styrofoam around it to help keep the temperature stable, because I think last time I had mentioned that after the first day or two I was noticing that this side was maintaining temperature, but this side felt cooler than the other side. So then once I added the styrofoam to it, it actually started holding temperature across the entire thing. It felt the same to the touch. So anyway, let's get all the eggs and get these guys ready to go. So sorry if you can hear through the microphone the whining of the incubator motor. I'm gonna just pull out this entire tray, I think, real quick. Actually, let's do this. Let's put these guys here for a minute. Hopefully they don't fall off the table. Grab some towels. And we're just going to start taking the eggs out. I suppose we could maybe do one last candling real quick of some of these, but the ones on this side all look really good, and the ones in this row all looked good too. So I think we have several viable eggs. There are 4 that are really questionable that I have no idea if they're going to end up hatching or not. Well, I'm pretty sure they're not going to. So we'll see, I guess. Let me just grab these guys. I'm just going to keep these 4 that I'm pretty sure aren't going to hatch separate. But we'll just throw them into the incubator again anyway and just see what happens. But like I said, actually, I'm almost certain, because you can feel that that one is... Sorry, the temperature alarm's going off. But you can definitely tell that the 4 that I don't think are going to hatch are actually lighter than the other ones. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up this water reservoir. This has actually been a really good water as far as keeping the humidity going. It's been hovering right around like 65 and 67% the entire time. And I've only had to actually add water once, which is nice. I thought I was going to have to do it more often. Alright, so basically what we're going to do is just take out the tray. So we're not going to need the turning tray anymore. So I'm going to set that aside. We'll drop our grid back in the floor. And then I'm kind of worried about the babies getting their feet stuck in the grid. So I did notice a lot of other people that did this have just put like paper towel over the thing. So I don't know if I should wet this or not. Maybe we should. I'm just gonna pour some water on this to get it damp. Bring it out so it's not soaking wet. I don't want the eggs to be sitting on top of a bunch of water, but that should help with the humidity too. I'm just gonna go like that, put these guys here, and then from what I've seen other people do is that when they put paper towels down, it helps so the bird doesn't get the baby doesn't get their feet stuck in that gridding. And then also, I guess, apparently if you don't provide something for them to be able to grip onto, they can develop like splayed legs that's impossible to fix once it happens to the bird, I guess. So we'll try to avoid that. I'm just gonna throw this top back on real quick, and it's gonna be really hard to see. Let me move the camera down here real quick, and then we can try to do a quick candling. It's really bright in here, so I don't know how well this is gonna work, and this camera tripod just does not want to cooperate with me right now. Do not fall over, camera lens. There we go. We're a little crooked, but that's okay. Oh, hey, bird. So, oh, damn it. I stripped the screw that holds the tilt from keeping the camera in place. So hopefully that stays where it's at. Let's get this to focus a little bit. 1 second here. I'm trying to do this fast because I'm using the Streamlabs streaming program, and I've always had problems with that one, especially after about 15 minutes it cuts out automatically. So trying to go as fast as we can here. Actually, let's zoom in on the candling thing. Focus looks okay. We're just gonna turn the light on real quick, and we'll just do a couple of these eggs because I don't want to have them out too long. But they all, yeah, it's impossible to see right now because it's too light in here. But they are all completely dark. You can't see through them anymore. So I'm going to assume that these are good to go. And hopefully some of them will hatch. But yeah, the ones that are completely dark, you can tell they do have a little bit more weight. Like barely any more weight than the other ones. But I'm pretty sure they should be good. I'm going to throw these guys back in here so they don't get cold. So these are the, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. These are the 10 that I'm pretty sure are going to hatch in a little space. And then these 4 over here, I'm just going to throw in. But I'm almost certain that the 4, oh my god, you can't even see what I'm talking about. But the 4 right here, I'm pretty sure are not going to hatch at all. Every time we candle them, they're pretty much, you could see a tiny bit of growth, but I think if they did have anything develop inside, they ended up stopped developing because they were all pretty clear still, so I'm assuming that they're not viable anymore. And then, yeah, these are the 10 over here that, they're all dark, you can't see through them, so candling doesn't really even tell me anything because I can't see anything inside the egg. So I'm going to assume we've got some growth in all of these. I think when I was looking through the top of this earlier, you could see some movement on one of the eggs where it was kind of moving around a little bit. But honestly, I don't know if that was the egg or if walking around near it, I just shook the thing just gently, and it was me that actually caused it to move. So hopefully we will get a couple of eggs to hatch. Alright, let's lid this guy up. Right now we're at 88 degrees. We're just going to sit here for a few minutes and wait for this to kind of get back to temperature. And yeah, I don't know, probably not tonight because we're just starting the lockdown phase, and hatching generally, from what I read, tends to occur around day 16 through 19. So I don't know, maybe starting either starting tomorrow night or the night after, I'll probably start just running a live stream camera on the incubator like this during the overnight hours, just to catch any hatching that happens while I'm asleep. And eggs change. Well, I'd assume that they would get a little bit heavier as a chick forms inside of it, bird, but I'm not entirely sure. But I don't know. These just feel like the 4 that I don't think are gonna hatch just have a different feel. I don't know if it's weight or if they just feel like really airy, like there's nothing there. But on these, on the ones that I do think will have a chance of hatching, all like have a more solid feel to them. If that makes sense. We're just waiting for this thing to get back to temperature. I'm kind of curious of where the humidity is going to stabilize at too. So we want, our target range is going to be 100 degrees. I'm just going to leave it at 101. And hopefully that'll be good enough. We're already back to 64% humidity. And back up to 93 degrees. So it shouldn't take too long. But while we're waiting for that, I guess we can, let me just get this to warm up faster. Just gonna do that real quick, sorry. So on day 1, when they do hatch, we're really zoomed in, so I'm gonna have to fix the zoom on this. But I was just gonna use a standard clear plastic bin for their first few days for them to live inside of. But the heating brooder plate. This is their heater for after they hatch. It wasn't big enough to. This was too big to fit in any of the plastic bins I had. So I just grabbed this thing. It still needs to get cleaned out. I just wanted to test fit this thing to make sure it would fit inside of it. But this was just one of those old like shoe, either like a shoe rack or a knick-knack shelf, whatever. I used to have it just like knick-knack things at the old house, and this thing on the shelves. So I just pulled out all the shelves, and yeah, this thing just fits inside of it. So once the chicks do hatch, we'll move them from the incubator to over here if they do hatch. And then at night, probably, or like even during the day, because the camera will fit down inside of here. It's really dark right now, I know, because I don't have a light in there, but I should be able to just drop a camera inside and we'll be able to have a chick camera. And watch the little baby chicks grow. Anyway, let's go back over here. I'm gonna put this thing back up here, and then yeah, we're just kind of waiting for a few minutes to see if this gets back to temperature. We're already at 97 degrees. We're holding still at about 63% humidity. I think from what the directions said, we want to target around 65 to 85% humidity. But with just one of the chambers filled before, it was holding at, like I said, it was around 60. It was bouncing between 63 and 67% humidity during the entire growth phase for the last 14 days. So I did fill the 2 chambers this time, so I just kind of want to see where it stabilizes. Because I don't want the humidity to be too high, because I don't know if that's really bad, but I'm assuming that if it gets, the closer it gets to 100%, the worse it is. So, all right, so temperature is back to 101 already. And it does feel like it's about 101. But then we're just kind of waiting to see where our humidity stabilizes at. So for the first day or two before, I'm just gonna keep the. Oops, my box is leaking. For the first day or two, I'm gonna keep the styrofoam on it just to make sure we're holding temperature, and then once we start seeing eggs hatch, I'll probably remove that. So then we can at least have the camera on during the overnight hours, and you guys can actually see inside the incubator. And I don't know, hopefully if they hatch overnight, then at least we'll be able to see we'll be able to see the first hatching if it happens while I'm sleeping. Thomas, we're almost done here. Just wanted to just figured I would document our lockdown day. We're at 67%, so we're basically pretty much at the target we want to be. A little bit below it, but I'd say that's pretty much good enough. And yeah. So far, I mean, like I said, I didn't get that extra temperature probe. I probably should have, just to make sure that everything was fine. But just from feeling it, it did feel like it was right around 101 degrees the entire time. And humidity, just from what you could tell from just like the condensation on the thing, just made sense. It was right around 70% the entire time. But since this was the first try, I figured we'll just go with the the gauges that are on the incubator itself and see how it goes, and that way we can get a good just kind of a good review of how the incubator works on its own, and if whether or not it's very accurate or not. I know during like the growth phase, the temperature was targeted. Well, it was 101, so I did keep it at 101. I probably could have like bumped the temperature up a little bit on the on here, just in case there was some heat loss. But and also in case this wasn't 100% accurate. And that's all. That's one of the reasons I also added the styrofoam, just to try and keep the heat inside and make sure we weren't getting a bunch of heat loss. But like I said, every time I came up here to check on them, I came up here at least once a day to check. um, basically to make sure that it was running still. From just touch, it wasn't actually changing in temperature. It felt the same every time I came up here, which I know is not an accurate way to gauge temperature. And yeah, everything looked good. I don't know if the egg turner was always working as it should have been. I noticed after day 2. Well, the problem was I was coming up here every day, and the egg turner activated every 2 hours. So after day 2, I came up here and I was noticing the same mark on the egg was facing up every time I came up here. But I suppose that makes sense because it would constantly be pretty much back to the starting position after 24 hours. But so every now and then I did do a manual turn on all the eggs just to make sure they're hopefully heating evenly. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just been 14 days of waiting, so hopefully within the next 3 or 4 days we'll start getting our first well, I guess 3 to 5 days, maybe even sooner, who knows. But hopefully we'll get the first eggs to start hatching, and we'll get to see the tiny baby chicks come out of their eggs. I was just going to look at here too. I'm just wondering if we can actually start seeing any of these eggs move. But it's not on the most sturdy table. So I feel like every time I get near it, I accidentally bump the table. And that's what I'm seeing move. But, yeah, I mean, there's one egg in here that looks like it's kind of moving around. Let me just move the camera down here so you guys can see. Well, it's going to be hard to see through the glass right now. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Sorry. God, I need a new camera stand. This thing is terrible. Let me grab the camera software and try and zoom in on that one egg. It's hard to see through that condensation on the... But the one in the center there looks like it's been moving a little bit back and forth. Oh, wow, camera, focus already. Alright, let's see if we can manually focus this thing. Well, that's probably the best it's going to get right now, but yeah, the one with the X right there is the one that I think has moved a couple times, but like I said, I'm not sure if it's me creating something like a vibration by walking next to the table that's making it move, or if I'm just bumping the table on accident and not realizing it, and that's what made it move. But I don't know. But anyway, I think whenever, like I said, so on day, I don't know, I might start it tomorrow night just so we don't miss anything. But I think what I'll do is I'll just set the camera here and probably just go out to like this level of a zoom. Wish this camera would focus better, but it's trying to focus on the condensation on the lid. But then yeah, I'll probably, like I said, I'll probably leave it on overnight, and then that way if anything does hatch, we'll get to see it right away. Make them hatch now? I wish I could. Alright guys, that is it for today. I just thought we'd set this thing up and get it ready to go for the next couple days, and hopefully over the next few nights we'll maybe see a couple little baby quail hatch. Later on tonight I'll probably jump on and do a gaming stream for a little while. What was I gonna say? Oh, the City Skylines 2 got a pretty big, well, it's not a huge update, but it it basically reworked the entire economy for City Skylines 2. So I wanted to try that out and see how things have changed. If you remember when we played City Skylines 2 a couple times now, a while ago, but it was pretty easy to make money. But I guess they've completely redone the entire economy system, and they got rid of the government subsidies thing. And you also don't get as much money per level. Every time you level up your city, they don't give you as much of a bonus. So it'll probably be a lot harder to actually make money. But apparently they said that the managing your city's budget apparently is a big thing in the game now, where it's actually important. Where before, you could just spam a crap ton of office buildings in your city and just make tons of money. So I wanted to check out the new updates, so I'll probably be doing that in an hour or two. But yeah, that's what's planned. Other than that, thanks a lot for hanging out, guys. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.